Have you ever felt like you didn't understand how something was being taught to you in school? The way things are taught and how one's learning is shown is an important part of understanding a concept in class. It makes you feel heard. Moments like these illustrate just how important it is to include the universal design for learning in the classroom. No matter how you learn or what grades you get, the universal design for learning benefits all students. As someone who's going to school to be a teacher and is very passionate about inclusive learning methods, specifically the universal design for learning, I've always been interested in incorporating inclusive learning approaches like UDL into my teaching. After researching my topic, I would like to tell you why the universal design for learning should be incorporated in the classroom. The universal design for learning should be incorporated into the classroom because it creates an inclusive learning experience, increases student engagement and motivation, and helps every student academically succeed and achieve their personal goals. Let's start with how the universal design for learning creates an inclusive learning experience. The universal design for learning allows teachers to teach information in a way that all students will understand. According to Reading Rockets, the goal of UDL is to use a variety of teaching methods to remove any barriers to learning and give all students equal opportunities to succeed. It's about building in flexibility that can be adjusted for every student's strengths and needs. The UDL framework creates inclusive learning methods to remove learning experiences because using flexibility as a baseline in the curriculum ensures that no student feels incapable or excluded because of rigid and one-size-fits-all teaching methods. UDL forces teachers to truly understand the way their students learn and the level of learning that their students are at, which makes them feel heard and smart enough to learn. UDL allows students to learn in multiple different ways. According to the Teaching and Learning Resource Center, offering multiple means of representation for your course content ensures students can access the same information in various modes, such as visual, auditory, or textual. This is an important component of accessibility that will improve the course experience for your entire class. While accessible design is imperative for people with disabilities, all learners take advantage of accessibility features depending on the situation. This idea of providing multiple means of representation for students to choose from allows students, especially those with learning differences, to be able to choose how they want to access the content material based on the way that they learn best, such as videos for visual learners or audio recordings for auditory learners, reading/writing assignments for reading/writing learners, or hands-on activities for hands-on or kinesthetic learners. It removes challenges that students may have because it forces teachers to accommodate their teaching to the learning needs of students instead of forcing students to accommodate their learning to a certain way of teaching. This idea acknowledges that students understand information in different ways and need multiple different ways to access content material and leads to more accessible learning. Another reason why UDL should be used in schools is to increase student engagement and motivation. UDL increases student engagement and participation in class. According to the International Journal of Novel Research and Development, UDL can significantly enhance student engagement in inclusive classrooms. Engagement is a critical component of learning as it encompasses students' emotional, cognitive, and behavioral involvement in educational activities. UDL addresses this by providing multiple means of engagement, thereby catering to diverse learning styles and interests. Research by Hall, Meyer, and Rose highlights that students are more likely to be motivated and actively participate when they can access material in ways that resonate with them. For example, some students might engage better with visual aids, while others might prefer hands-on activities or auditory inputs. By incorporating various methods of presenting information, UDL ensures that students are not only passive recipients of knowledge, but active participants in their learning process. Multiple means of engagement allow students to emotionally and cognitively be involved in their learning, which is essential to true learning. It acknowledges that students have different learning styles, interests, needs, goals, and passions. Which means students are more likely to be engaged and participate in class when they can interact with material in a way that connects with them personally. By offering multiple options such as group discussions or interactive activities like think, pair, share, or using crosswords about the learning material, it helps cater to these interests and strengths. This variety of engagement ensures that students are actively involved in their learning and creates a classroom environment where they feel excited to learn and are able to be completely involved in the learning process. UDL increases students' motivation for learning. Again, according to the International Journal of Novel Research and Development, providing students with choices in how they learn and demonstrate their understanding can increase their intrinsic motivation. UDL promotes a sense of autonomy and relevance in the educational experience. This approach not only increases student motivation, but also supports the development of self-regulation and perseverance, essential skills for academic success. Giving students different options in how they learn and for showing what they learned helps build their intrinsic motivation to succeed. This approach gives them the power to choose how to learn, which makes them want to do the work for themselves rather than just because a teacher told them to do it. By letting students make these decisions and have this independence and autonomy, they also learn how to take ownership of their learning and to stay focused when tasks may seem challenging. Ultimately, focusing on this independence allows students to stay determined and remain truly motivated to succeed, which makes their learning feel more meaningful. The final reason UDL should be used in schools is that it helps every student academically succeed and achieve their personal goals. UDL helps increase student academic success. According to the International Journal of Novel Research and Development, students in UDL implemented classrooms often outperform their peers in traditional classrooms. This performance boost is attributed to the customized and flexible learning environment that UDL promotes. Students who are not constrained by a single method of instruction, which can be particularly beneficial for those who do not thrive under conventional teaching methods, like myself. Additionally, UDL's emphasis on formative assessments and ongoing feedback can significantly enhance student achievement. Continuous assessment allows teachers to monitor students' progress and provide timely support, ensuring that students do not fall behind. UDL increases student academic success by removing educational barriers that often hold students back in a typical classroom setting. This flexible and accessible learning environment prevents students from being limited by a one-size-fits-all teaching method. Not all students can truly learn through traditional teaching methods, so students need to be given multiple ways to learn that actually cater to their specific learning needs. Constant check-ins and immediate support from teachers is very important, so that whenever a student is struggling, they are dealt with early on so that no student gets stuck or gives up altogether in the long run. By focusing on these regular adjustments and removal of strict barriers, it ensures that every student can academically succeed and take pride in their success. UDL also helps students achieve their personal goals. According to the helpful professor, the SMART framework is valuable when setting educational goals because it helps you to articulate exactly what your goal is. The 5 criteria within the framework will force students to set goals that can be clearly explained and are achievable. By setting SMART goals, students can see greater levels of success, whether it's short-term goals or long-term goals, and have a clearer idea about what they need to do to meet their goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And these goals are an essential part of UDL's framework because it provides students with a clear way to achieve their goals. By having students set specific and measurable goals, it gets rid of the confusion of where to start and provides a tangible way for them to see their progress, which creates the drive and confidence needed to meet their goals. Making sure that goals are attainable prevents students from getting overwhelmed by large tasks and breaks them down into smaller, more achievable tasks. Ensuring their goals are time-bound helps students to take relevant and time-bound helps students to take accountability for their progress and improve their time management. These goals help students to achieve their personal goals by turning a personal aspiration into clear and achievable milestones. In conclusion, the universal design for learning is a beneficial teaching method that should be used in all classrooms because it creates an inclusive learning environment, increases student engagement with the content and motivation for learning, and sets students up to be academically successful along with achieving their personal goals. You don't need to be a teacher to use UDL, so the next time you're giving a presentation at work or posting something on social media, don't provide information in just one way. Instead, use at least one other way of providing it, whether it's pictures to go along with your presentation at work or closed captions for a video you post online. This will make information accessible for everyone. Thank you.